How do you feel about XRP Ripple?
I know Brad very well at XRP, and he's done a great job.
Shake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like,
this is the most important news to know about XRP. If you are an XRP maxi, we need to talk about this.
What percent chance does XRP go to $1,000 in 2026? I think it'll be more than that.
Let's talk about how this will impact us in the long run and what this could mean for the price of XRP. So the news states that Swift, which is the payment processing company, is going to partner up with Ethereum, which would mean that Ripple could be losing the race, right? Here's the good news from this situation. XRP might be losing the race right now, but it basically proves out their idea. And when something like that comes to be, specifically with a crypto that has already perfected the system, it is more than likely that they're going to switch their expenses from Ethereum and go to something like XRP. Right now, it says that they're testing it with, I think, 30 banks, right? So what they're basically doing is that they made a new blockchain ledger, and they're using Ethereum to create this, and they're using it with 30 plus banks. What they're trying to do is prove that the concept works. Now that does suck for us in the short term, but the good news is if we look at the chart of XRP, it's actually telling a completely different story. So if we pull up the XRP chart, we got some things to talk about here. Let me hide all these indicators because it does make it a little difficult if you have not been on the channel before. But as we can see here, we are topping out at this trend line. We do see that for the short-term horizon, but if we go and pull back to a longer term time frame, we can see that we are making this wedge, but this wedge is basically a bullish wedge, and I actually really like that in regards to the long-term plan for XRP. So if you're an XRP holder, this is a time to maybe add a little bit more to your long-term bags. Now that doesn't mean I'm right, and the reason I say that is because there is always a possibility in the market where we go back down, and if this is the top for a little bit, it looks like we just need to break this support from this long-term trend line. Now what I'm also doing in XRP with my trades, as you guys know, I do full-time day trade on BTCC. The link is below. You can even see here yesterday's trades were pretty freaking profitable. We had one loss at $108. Why? Because we always use tight stop losses. Our strategy states use tight stop losses. You don't want to have a big risk and lose money that you're not prepared to lose. And when you see here, the next trade was a $1,500 gain minus the $70 fees. We made about $1,350, and the time frame for this trade was just 1 day, right? So in 1 day, $1,300 profit from clicking some buttons on the internet. Anybody can do it. And if you guys want to use BTCC, there is a link below for a freaking 10% deposit bonus. So if you deposit 10K, you get a free $1,000 to play with. And now they let you use that money first to play with, right? Another thing too, if you deposit more, you guys, they have a deposit bonus where you get cheaper fees on your trades, which is so nice, specifically if you're using high leverage positions with low money, just like I'm doing, right? I really like doing it this way because I do not need to risk a lot. This $1,400 was made off of a $250 position. So basically, guys, we took $250, shorted BTC, and it was such a good time that it made us $1,300 in under a full day. And right now, how I'm playing the market, specifically with XRP, even though we're getting negative news, I still have bullish sentiment, and I'm looking at it as a day trade, right? And if we see this here, we're using just the small trend line. You know, in trading, you can use multiple strategies, and you guys know I like to test as many as possible. This one specifically is we're gonna look for a trend line, and we use this one, and we were able to enter here with our stop loss below that trend line, because the idea here is if it breaks that trend line, we have a potential to keep going lower. And what you don't want to do when you're day trading and using higher leverage is have a lot of risk available on the table. It's the worst way that you can trade. So to really capitalize on it, you're going to want to give yourself some distance. But on the other end of the market, I'm also hedging where BTC looks like it's at a triple top on our end, which is again a different strategy, but we're using it to take this short. We took the short here. We have our stop loss just above the top of that recent high, and now we're looking for a profit down here. Now the reason for this is we're looking for a full retracement, which entail would be another $1,700 off of only $100 position. And remember, you can do the same thing I'm doing. I'm not special at all. I'm just using that BTCC link below. I was able to benefit off of the deposit bonus, and I've been trading with it for months, printing money living the dream. And you can easily do the same thing in crypto. Just make sure that you understand risk management, and you also understand that crypto in itself is extremely risky. And yes, I'm not a financial advisor, but I am a crypto nerd. So as long as you're willing to take the time to learn, you can easily do the same thing on your own. Please don't hesitate. The link is below. And if you've got any questions, you can always reach out, just because I love trading. It's something we do every day with the team. Now, don't let these news articles also ruin your idea of what's happening within crypto, right? Like, these things do not mean that you need to sell your long-term bags. These things don't always mean anything, because the market's huge. You never know when a big buyer comes in and spikes the price up. And realistically, we're more likely to break out of here than down here. But again, no guarantees, which is why you hedge the bet by putting in a stop loss and or putting in a different type of position with a different crypto, because crypto does follow the same cycles, right? So if Bitcoin goes up, XRP tends to follow, and so forth. What did happen though recently is Bitcoin reached another all-time high, where some of these other ones did not, which is a bit of a nerve-wracking situation, because it means that we might go back down. And what you want to be able to do is capitalize on that with shorts. Make sure that those are open, but your stop losses are available. And again, I've got the link for BTCC below to make it as easy as possible. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you're subscribed to the video. Don't let news articles sell your long-term back so you can miss on the big gains. Just have a plan for that and be patient for the market. I'll see you guys on the next video. Make sure you're following and subscribed. Peace.